Lions TV, this is the final show of 2023. We're going to be looking back at the other nights, whatever night that was. I'm not sure. I've actually just got in off the back of it. Win over Norwich City at the Den, and we're going to be looking ahead to the opening game of 2024. We travel to Bristol City and Ashton Gate. As always, let's kick off the show by winding it back to Friday night and taking a look at the 11 that Joe Edwards picked to start the match. And once again, the gaffer rung the changes. No Wes Harding. He was out with a knock, in inverted commas. That was what we got told from the club. And we thought it was going to be a big miss. But, I mean, I'll get into the team in a minute. You know, players, there was not one bad performance. The goalkeeper is still scaring me a little bit, but 3 clean sheets in a row, not a problem with that at all, of course. And I hope he builds on that and moves forward. Right, we'll leave that one. But let's move on to the team. It was the aforementioned Matija Sarkic in goal. This is how I saw the formation. I've been seeing a lot of variations of this, and QPR game, News at Den, love News at Den, but they thought we went with a 4-4-2. I'm not saying they're wrong, but that's not how I saw it. I saw the team as this. Ryan Leonard, Murray Wallace, left back, 2 central defenders was Jake Cooper, and club captain was absolutely fucking immense, Sean Hutchinson, who come back in to the side. Then it was a 3-man midfield with George Honeyman and George Saville, with Zian Fleming in a 10, Idamo Maka on the left, Brooke Norton-Cuffy on the right, and Tom Bradshaw as the main central striker. I'm going to fucking gloat over this today. People saying, why do you like Joe Edwards? Bradshaw's League One. I think the proof's in the pudding. What can't speak, can't lie. And Tom Bradshaw, if you give him the right service, he will score goals. Joe Edwards, that's the best performance for him by a mile. Of course it is. But that's probably the best I've seen us play. I'm going to liken it to, I've been thinking about this, the best I've seen us play since we beat Sheffield United 3-2 under Gary Rowett, and Bradshaw got a hat-trick that day. That was, of course, on Sky, wasn't it? That was as good as that. And I think that was as good as it ever got for Rowett. But this was brilliant. It had absolutely everything. The team lineup, again, look, the formation I put out there, some of you are probably saying at the screen right now, that wasn't the formation because, to me, yes, Fleming looked like he drifted left, and Amaku was sometimes on the right. Brooke Norton-Cuffy was very high, but sometimes further back. So a lot of interchanging. Loads of movement, loads of pace in the team. And the biggest thing I've noticed, I said this in a previous video, I just spoke to my mate Colin there on the phone, and he said exactly the same thing before I'd even mentioned it, is the shape that we've got is a million times better. We've got this detachment, or we had this detachment under route where the fucking defence are here, the midfield were here, and the strikers, and they couldn't get anywhere. They're moving around the pitch as a unit, so compact, so in sync. It's just fucking brilliant. Brilliant. We was well deserved of our win. 2 names not in the starting lineup there. That was, of course, Duncan Watmore and Joe Bryan. Surprised to me that neither of those played. However, I think someone said to me that it was on News at Den that he's trying to bleed these players back in slowly. Both very good players for us, 2 of our bigger players, but both had injury worries. So he's just trying to, especially with the fixture pile up over Christmas and the New Year, trying to bleed them back in slowly. And I was surprised at that, and I was disappointed that he wasn't playing, but turned out to be the right decision. You can't knock the performance, the result, the fucking atmosphere, mate. I'm not joking. I've just got in. I've been asleep. Yes, I have, but just out straight after the game and surface open ever since. Oh, and I will be standing on New Year's Eve off the back of it. But look, it's been a brilliant few days, and that's the feeling that I've missed, that I'm sure you've missed. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, again, I don't want to keep going back to Rat, but I don't think he understood the club. And Joe Edwards said from day dot, before he even a football was kicked under him, he said, I've been to the Den, I know what it can generate, and it's our responsibility, myself and the players, to give the fans something to generate the atmosphere. And he reflected on that again in his post-match. It was brilliant, and if you give us something to shout about, it will be fucking like a cauldron in there. And it was absolutely brilliant, a great atmosphere. So getting into the game, look, we, as I said, fully deserved the 3 points. We was on the front foot from start to finish. Was intense. There is a time when you think, can we keep this intensity up? But the players just kept coming, and bodies on the line in the second half. I'm getting way ahead because I'm just fucking excited, and I want to make sure I get everything out in this video. But look, we dominated from the start. You know, the majority of the first half, but we was popping the ball around, and that's the best I've seen our passing as well under Edwards. And I'm sure that when he keeps saying, you know, when we've not got results and he's felt down about things, and he's reflected on it in his interviews with the club or South London Press, whoever, he said, these are not the players that I'm seeing in training all week, you know, and they're not turning up. This isn't the same turnout I'm getting in training. It's just not the same level. And that has to be down to the players. And that's bold from Edwards, who's just come into his first job as a manager. You know, what is he, 38? So what is he? He's not a lot older than some of the more senior players like Hutchinson. They might be thinking, fuck off, mate. But listen, he's bold in his approach. He says it how it is. He don't pull any punches, and he's put it on them, and they've responded. And our passing in the opening exchanges was absolutely brilliant. Brooke Norton-Cuffy is just getting better and better. He is, and I've said previously, he was shit. Yes, I have. For those who will go, you said he was shit. I said he was shit. Yeah. Then I said he's not a right back. And now he's just he's unorthodox. I've said it before. He's not on the level of Luis Suarez, and he's not the same type of player as Suarez. But the way he sort of bundles through people and sort of staggers through and gets round people. But now he's also adding that end bit of quality to his game as well, with his final ball. And look, I don't think it's any coincidence that the gaffer's been there, 2 months now? Is it something like that? George Saville, the first goal, boom. The left footer comes across along the floor for Bradshaw to slide in the box, the poacher he is, and then Brooke Norton-Cuffy's put an exact same type of ball in from the right-hand side this time. I think Edwards has seen that. This is what we need to do. We need to get balls in along the floor, in between defenders. I've been saying it for fucking years. And all we used to do was fucking stick balls up for him, back to goal, 60 yards out, and ask why he's not scoring goals. The first goal is a brilliant, brilliant goal. Brilliant team goal. As I said, very, very similar to the goal that we got on Boxing Day against QPR. Murray Wallace actually starts it off, and Murray Wallace, he's been absolutely phenomenal in the last few games. I didn't want him to start because obviously Joe Bryan's back, but Murray Wallace has set up goals recently against Leicester. He scored, of course, against QPR. He set up another one as well, but he starts to move off, finds Ian Fleming, who I did think was much improved. Still seems like he's lacking a bit of fitness from me, Fleming, but Fleming turns, he releases Amaku. Amaku's on the run, and this is where now the players, as I said, they're moving up the pitch together in good shape. They're in sync. They know the plan. They know the structure. I was going to say they know the process then. Don't trust the process. They know the patterns of play. And Amaku's running towards the box. He's running towards the box. He knows Norton-Cuffy's behind him. He ain't got eyes in the back of his head, but it's what they've been practicing. Norton-Cuffy gets beyond and, again, shows composure. Don't thrash at it. Don't try and do something stupid. He puts in a brilliant low ball, and the main man's there, Tom Bradshaw. I can't keep going on about it. For those hammering me in the comments, and, look, I'll get some right and I'll get some wrong. For those hammering me about Tom Bradshaw, he's gone, he's League One. Some of you got very, very fucking short memories. I told you that. He scored 17 goals last season. You don't become a bad striker overnight. There was a point before that during lockdown, he couldn't get in under Gary Rowett for about a year and a half. And Bavardson was playing better with him. And people I remember putting a post out about, get rid of him, he's shit, he's as bad as Bavardson. He is a fucking good striker that will score goals. He's 31, yes. He's probably fitter than he's ever been. He's an absolute tank, or he's only about 5'8", but he's an absolute tank. And if you feed him the right service, he will score. Feed the Bradshaw. I can't keep saying it. And for those jumping on my back, you'll all be the ones on social media jumping the other way again now. I will make a decision based on what I think I know, that I think I know my football, and I will stick to that. Even if a player goes through a patch that's not so good, I will say, no, he is a good player, stick with it. And it looks like now he's going to be keeping his place in the side, keeping Kevin Nisbet out. But look, I like Nisbet, but he's just not all-round as fit as Bradshaw. And if you're going to play one striker, which we seem to be doing at the minute, one central striker, you need that fitter, more agile player that can get in and on the end of things in the box, in and around the 6-yard box. Nisbet's got goals in him, but I think, I said one up front don't work for us. Again, I could be wrong on that one, but it is going to be Bradshaw, I think, for the foreseeable. But it will be good for him to have Nisbet breathing down his neck. And we know we've got goals in Nisbet off the bench if we need it, which we've not had at the club for a long, long time. After we score, we keep coming forward. We nearly score again, this time from one of our sort of old school moves, like I'd say, a long throw. Flicked on, I think it was it a long throw? Was it a long diag? I can't remember. It might have been a diag. I could have got that one wrong. But it goes over Kuba, drops to Fleming. Fleming on his left foot. Great save from Angus Gunn. But I think Fleming will know he should have scored that, or think he should have scored that. He looked disappointed. He probably should have gone to the goalkeeper's right, but he goes across the keeper, which is always easier for a keeper to get across. He's a good height for him, but a really good save from Angus Gunn. And if you look again, like Joe Edwards keeps saying, 3 clean sheets in a row, yes. Sarki's hardly had a save to make. In contrast to that, Angus Gunn's made 3-4 really good saves in the game. And would have loved to have George Long between the sticks. Of course I would. But that wasn't to be. and we only got the victory by 1-0. But I liked that about the second half, which I'll get into in a minute. But look, half-time comes, Norwich are booed off by their fans, and David Wagner's under pressure there. But we are going in at half-time, buzzing, people in the box, we're having a beer, we're enjoying ourselves. Of course, it's Christmas, but when you had not just being 1-0 up, it was different to the QPR game. We wasn't great against QPR in the opening exchanges, but we got the goal right on half-time. That, on Friday night, was fully deserved. We had been really good, and it was a different feeling to the QPR one. We went in at half-time going, yeah, all right, this is fucking looking really good, but can we maintain it? We come out the second half, and as good as our passing was, I said, I think our passing was as good as it's ever been under Edwards in that game. The level of quality dropped in the game as a whole. We still have moments, but I think it became more of an old school Millwall game in that second half. And Norwich played into that massively. Their fan base, I've already said, not happy with their manager. And they was vocal about that. But then their players were getting rolled up. I said the most placid and docile fan base ever. Now, they're playing yellow. They're called the Canaries. It's hardly fucking scary shit, is it? But they just lost their heads on the pitch, off the pitch, and it just played in to the Millwall way. Because if you want to look down the years, possibly, down the years, realistically, you want to go toe-to-toe with Norwich playing football, they'll probably outplay us. But if you want to come and try and play us at our own game in our own backyard, when the atmosphere is like it is, and that generated that in the second half, it heightened that atmosphere even more, and it just sort of played into the Millwall way, like I said. But we did have moments of quality in the second half. Again, we didn't ever really look in danger in the second half. The big thing comes where it's just ridiculous, and I'm not one to go on about referees. I didn't want to go on about the referee at full time, partly because I was pissed, partly because loads have happened and I was just buzzing with a win, but I knew I'd break it down here. But I didn't want to take anything away from our performance on the pitch and the manager, how he'd approached the game, because, the ref was shit, but in spite of that, we still fucking got the job done. The decisions the referees are making. I mean, the lino in the second half, I'm screaming at him. I don't scream often during streams because I'm trying to talk to people on the streams. By the way, 7,000 people tuned in. I think there's over 700 on at one point, running concurrently. So I appreciate that support. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, because we're nearly on 22,000 subscribers. But the lino, he's not, did he forget he had his flag in his hand? Was it new for Christmas? And I forgot I had that. He didn't stick up once. There was 3 or 4 offsides. And it's sort of from that the ref ends up losing control. Ball goes through. Sarkic comes out. No one around him. And then all of a sudden, off the ball, Cooper goes down. Ashley Barnes, I've seen it on the replay, has shoved him down. But then on top of that, he gets on top of him and he's fucking bouncing him off the ground. Now, how the fuck has the ref not come straight over? He's booked Barnes. If he's seen him push him over, or if he hasn't seen him push him over, it doesn't matter. If someone's down, now he's on top of him. All right, I don't know what's happened, but when you see someone literally 2 hands like that, bouncing him off the floor 2 or 3 times, it's got to be a red card. Then he sort of has a booking, he walks away, and then I'm sort of watching what's going to happen. He's going to restart, and then all of a sudden, someone goes down again. And I've seen the replay, he's sort of double elbows. He fucking thinks he's a WWE wrestler, this guy, doesn't he? Actually fucking bald-head Barnes, double elbows, Honeyman, and Saville. Saville was right in his ear, though. And Saville was, that was all fucking brilliant. But look, at that point, Cooper comes over again. Cooper gets another fucking shove. And Cooper gets booked. Ashley Barnes gets nothing. 2 minutes later, they substitute him. So it proves in that decision that they've made, Norwich, by David Wagner, to substitute him, that it was a red card. He should have gone off. And they did take him off before he was sent off. And the ref had completely lost it by this point. But as I said, I do feel that just played into it for us. And we carried on coming forward. We had more good chances. Idemo Amaku again, very similar to the QPR game, breaks into the box and he fires one. Goalkeeper great again, makes a great save, tips it over the bar. Then we make substitutions, like for like substitutions again. You're going to need that this time of year with legs, etc., etc. And Ryan Longman comes on. He's another one, mate. Thought he was great when he first came. Then I thought every time he starts, he can't do anything. He's an impact player because he come on, especially when other players are tired on the other team, and he can do his trickery, his little step overs. And then again, he gets off a brilliant left-footed shot, which Gunn again gets a really good hand on, and gets it away to safety. 10 minutes goes up on the board, and it is squeaky bum time. But as nervous as I was fucking enjoying the intensity as well, the nervousness of it all. Well, that might sound weird, I'm sure. Well, no, I'm sure some of you know exactly how I felt. but it's just a fucking brilliant atmosphere. And they sort of half try and come forward, have a couple of little things, and then they break, don't they? And they by this point they've got Josh Sargent on the pitch. They got, is it Rowe on the pitch, Jonathan Rowe? I mean, I don't know why those two haven't started again. It could be the fixture pile up. They're definitely not out of form. I know Rowe isn't because he's been scoring goals for fun. But yeah, I don't know why Wagner decided not to play him. But by this point, they're on anyway. And then Rowe's running through. Savills absolutely fucking swiped him out. In the laws of the game, that's a booking. Take one for the team. We've all seen it a million times. Some of you play have probably done it. All right, I'm going to get booked here, but fuck it, he's got to go. And he wipes out Jonathan Rowe. Ref pulls out a red card. It might have been a delayed reaction. I think that one was meant for fucking Ashley receding head Barnes. But look, red card. In the laws of the game, a yellow card. The club have appealed that, and it's been rejected. Shock. However, I've seen it back from different angles. I see someone put it on social media and tagging some of Ipswich Town in general, I think, because Jonathan Rowe, the other week when they played Ipswich, said, bring on the fucking derby, didn't he? And he scored as well. So, someone tagged Ipswich in that and said, hey, go, that one's for you. Late Christmas present. But, it's a hefty swipe and it's a high swipe. I get that, but I think even David Wagner said after the game he's seen bookings given. But look, red card given, and we finished 87th minute, so we're playing on after that with 10 men. And, they get a late free kick, and then this is where the fucking useless ref gives us one thing all night, just when we needed it. They have a free kick, edge of the box, just to the side on the D, really good position for a shot. Sarkic gets his things right, his maths right, gets the wall in the way, and it's take. I'm trying to think why. Sorry, there in my head for the delay. He shoots. It hits the outside of our wall, or someone else near the wall, and it redirects and goes off for a corner. Norwich players are screaming. They go mad. I'm thinking, why they got a corner? I actually thought at that point, he's blown the full-time whistle and he's not going to let him take the corner. But no, he's given a goal kick. Absolutely ridiculous decision. But look, one that we get back through not getting the red card for Ashley fucking Fintop. But look, brilliant result, brilliant performance. And going into that, that's 3 games, 3 clean sheets, 7 points, and things are looking a million times better. And the January transfer window is pending, of course, as it is New Year's Eve. But tomorrow we travel to Bristol City, also with a new, fresh manager, also in form. Let's move on to it. So moving on to tomorrow's game, I think there is an argument to play an unchanged side. However, he can't because Saville is now suspended for the next 3 games, which is a shame, a massive kick in the bollocks for us, not just for his experience and his drive and his tenacity, but also because he's just found a decent little partnership there with George Honeyman. So I think you'll probably see Billy Mitchell come back in, Casper De North still injured, and Alan Campbell out of favour. I think he'll probably go back to Luton if I'm honest. Get rid of him. It hasn't worked out, not a problem, but free up some wages to get someone else in. But I think Edwards probably might change it about a bit. It wouldn't surprise me, as I've seen over his last 3 or 4 games, win, lose or draw, he's still experimenting. Although, after that, I didn't go through the players' performances, but they were all fucking outstanding. Hutchinson was unreal. Murray Wallace, unreal. Saville, unreal. Bradshaw, unreal. Amaku, unreal. Norton Cuffey, unreal. They was all brilliant. They was all brilliant. It was fucking really, really good. So I don't know what it'll do. If I was him, just put it that way, I would go Billy Mitchell in for George Saville, and that would be it. And I'd keep it exactly the way it was, unfortunately. Or would I don't know, I prefer Water Fleming, but you don't. Do you want to tinker? I don't know. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. Let's just put it that way. Let's move on. So our opposition, as I've already mentioned, is Bristol City. Managed by Liam Manning, of course, one of these new age managers, very similar to Joe Edwards. Never played a substantial amount of games at professional level, but learned his trade early. And some of these managers now are fucking younger than me. It's making me feel really, really old. He's got a little bit more experience than Edwards. He'd done a good job, of course, at Oxford, and that's what got him the job at Bristol City. I watched them on the telly the other night or last week. They played Hull. They was 2-1 down, weren't looking fantastic, and Manning made 3 substitutions on about the 70th minute, and it changed the game for them. Come on, and they got the job done, won by 3 goals to 2. Bristol City have won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1 of their previous 5 games. Had a really good result, like I said, against Hull. Then they absolutely spanked Watford at Vicarage Road. Last time out was on the road against Wayne Rooney's Birmingham, where they drew 0-0, which sees them sitting 8th in the division, 8 places and 7 points above us. So if we do get a result tomorrow, we'll claw that deficit back. Of course, a win for them could see them heading into the top 6. Let's move on to a score prediction. And so this is your pre-match prediction. And here we go. I am going to go for... I've never seen us lose up there, by the way. So I probably should be going tomorrow. But I might do, I don't know. Right here, right now, I'm not. And I will be streaming tomorrow if you're not going. But I might make the decision tomorrow morning. I'm not going out tonight. But look, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I'll go for a 1-1 draw. I'll take it all day long. They're in form under their new manager. And I think it'll be a battle of wits of the Whiz Kids. I'm going for Tom Bradshaw to get our goal. And so that's your lot for the final show of 2023. I just want to say big thank you to everyone for watching, supporting, subscribing, donating, loving, hating. It all goes in the same pot. Much appreciated. We're near 22,000 subscribers, as I've already said. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to Lions TV. Have a good night tonight. Behave yourselves a little bit. Don't drink drive, but drink plenty. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Happy New Year. Come on, you Lions.